Hi everyone, my name is Pooja. Welcome to the new episode of MCN Guide. Today we're going to talk about the consent object subscription model in Marketing Cloud next. Excited to show you guys all of that.
First, a question, Pooja. Why consent, opt-in, all those things are so important in marketing?
It is important if you don't want to get fined. Also, it's important for maintaining the good domain best practices on marketing. And so it's really important that you import your audience properly with the correct consent, whether they opted in or if they do not opted in.
Absolutely. Like many countries right now already have regulations determining that you can only email people that have consented to your communications. Others don't require it, but even for those countries that don't require consent, we always recommend that you use them for the domain reason. Like if someone is receiving your emails and they don't have a way to clearly unsubscribe, they start tagging you as spam. And by tagging you as spam, your domain quality goes down, your deliverability goes down, and all of a sudden you can't communicate with the people that really matter, right? So how do we do that in MCN? First thing, you have to create subscription types. Right now here you can see that we have one that is the email, the marketing email subscription types. For everything here, you come to new subscription, you enter your subscription name. It can be, for example, the topics that you want to be communicating to your audience. So you can have subscription for newsletter, for event and webinar invites, all of that. And you pick the channel and you save it. That's how you just create a subscription category. And then you have to import the people via the consent import here. It's very straightforward. You click the button import, select the channel. I want people to be importing the communication subscription, marketing. So this all we created. In the last step, we want to set their content status to opt-in or opt-out. So if you're importing opt-in, you would come here and you would upload a file like this one here that contains the email and the consent date. This is a CSV file that you would import. As you import it, this will get registered into the system. Very straightforward, right? Now we have consent. What would be the next steps for us on how to use that, Pooja?
Now, can I send my marketing emails?
Yes and no at the same time. You can send the emails, but there is a caveat there. It's not, you won't be able to see how many people are receiving the emails initially. And we've been talking about throughout this whole series how everything is built on top of data cloud, everything is an object. The leads and contacts transform into individuals, the individuals transform into unified individuals, and all of that. And consent is not how you would expect in other marketing automation platforms to be a field in the individual or prospect or whatever object. It is an object on its own, and it doesn't have a native connection to individual. So you have to create that native connection. How fun.
So now I cannot send my email just after importing the consent. There's additional steps that you have to consider before you are fully ready to send out the email.
Yeah, you could send the email, and Salesforce in the backend would consider that opt-in, that consent object, and would run through it. But in the end of the day, you would have a segment of 10,000 people that you wouldn't know how many have consented, because all of that happens in the backend. So you don't really see it. If you don't really see it, you don't have intelligence over it to understand, okay, this is really my marketable database. These are the people that are receiving my email. You just know that you have 10,000 and that they will be automatically filtered out for the ones that don't have consent. Salesforce controls that on the back end for you, which is pretty nice. But it's not pretty nice that you can't see it straightforward in a segment.
But you would see it on the reports though.
You would see on the reports in the end of the day, but you can't plan beforehand. That's
Yeah.
so to get you to the best way, because this guide is not about the basics, right? It's creating the best practices in your marketing cloud next. That's why everyone is watching us right now. You have to go to data cloud, you have to go to your data model and find the communication subscription consent object and go to the relationships. This is where you set the relationships between your objects. And one thing that is very important is that you connect your consent to the contact point email that is connected to the individual. So without this, you can't really see in the segmentation. So to do that, you have to edit this. You have to add a new relationship. Select contact point value and to one contact point email, and then you connect this via the email address. Using this relationship, now you'll be able to see how many of your contact point emails that are connected to your individual unified individuals actually are emailable through a segment. And to build that segment, here's a good example of it. This is already done. This is something that we have. And to build that, for example, we want people that have an email, but not only have an email, also have an email that can be contacted too. So we start building the segment on the unified individual, but from the unified individual, we come to the communication subscription consent object, and we get the consent status must be equal to opt-in, because that's how Salesforce stores it. Once you have that, you save it, and boom, it is done. And that's how you build your segmentation. Yeah.
Now we know what's our segment size for marketable database, and we'll have like other informations with that.
Exactly. Now you can start leveraging your email channel, knowing how many people you do have in your database. Stay tuned for the next episode. We're going to talk a lot about landing pages and how you can leverage these other channels and start running your marketing through MCN.